Beloved soul, this message reaches you in perfect alignment, not by chance, but by divine orchestration. You were meant to hear these words today. What unfolds from this moment forward will shift the course of your inner journey, for this is not the continuation of your awakening. It is the birth of your true purpose. You have walked a long and sacred road, seeking truth, dissolving illusions, and piercing through the veils that once concealed your higher vision. You have grown through silence and storms, and now the time of seeking has come to an end. The universe is whispering to you. It is time to step into your light. No more waiting, no more questions. The call is now. If lately your spirit has felt restless, if you've sensed a stirring deep within, an unseen movement calling you forward, it is because you stand at the threshold of transformation. You are crossing the invisible line between who you were and who you are destined to become. Many chosen souls linger in the awakening process, mistaking the path for the destination. They believe they must keep searching endlessly, collecting signs and confirmations, waiting for one more divine message before they can begin. But the truth, Radiant One, is that awakening was never the final goal. It was the initiation, the opening of your inner eyes. And once those eyes are open, there is no returning to sleep. What follows is action, purpose, power. You have already received what you were meant to receive. You have seen through illusions, broken the chains that bound your soul, and remembered the eternal strength that resides within you. The question now is not whether you are ready, but whether you will act, because knowledge without embodiment is only half of the journey. The world is shifting, the energies are rising, and the battle between light and shadow grows stronger each day. Those who are awake are being summoned. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. You may wonder how to know when your awakening has reached completion. The answer is not found in signs written in the sky, but in the resonance within your being. When peace replaces the need to seek, when clarity dissolves confusion, when purpose flows naturally through your words, choices, and presence, you have crossed the threshold. The universe confirms your readiness not with thunder, but with alignment. You begin to notice synchronicities guiding your every step. The right people, opportunities, and revelations appear effortlessly, not because you chase them, but because you are vibrating in harmony with your destiny. Your awakening was the spark, not the flame. It opened your awareness so that you could remember who you are. A divine expression of light incarnate, here to uplift consciousness and restore balance in a world that has forgotten its sacred origin. You were not awakened to remain a seeker. You were awakened to become a creator, a vessel of truth in motion. The time of learning, absorbing, and waiting has fulfilled its purpose. Now begins the era of embodiment, of living the wisdom you once sought, of walking as the truth you once studied. Remember how it felt when you first awakened, the confusion, the wonder, the awe. You questioned everything, shed old versions of yourself, and often walked alone. That solitude was sacred. It shaped your spirit and burned away the false layers imposed upon you. But you cannot dwell in that in-between space forever. The awakening was meant to break you open so that the light within could rise. You are now being called to live from that light, to bring heaven into form, to let your presence itself be the message. No teacher, no angel, no guide can walk through this new doorway for you. This is your moment of choice. You must decide to rise. The universe will meet you with every step, but only after you move. The world needs your gifts, not when you feel more confident, not when the timing seems perfect, but now. Each moment you delay is a moment when your light could have touched another. You are not here to simply witness transformation, you are here to embody it. When your awakening is complete, you stop speaking about truth and begin radiating it. You no longer analyze energy, you direct it. You walk among the illusions of this world yet remain untouched by them. Your presence becomes calm, unwavering, magnetic. You no longer search for your purpose because you have become it. So if these words echo in your soul, it is because your time has come. You are not standing at the beginning anymore. You are standing at the threshold of destiny. The universe is not asking if you are ready. It is reminding you that you already are. Step forward, chosen one. The path is open. The call has been sounded, and your mission has begun. Dearest soul, there comes a moment in your evolution when the veil of separation dissolves, and you awaken to the truth that you were never apart from the universe at all. In the early waves of your awakening, you may have felt adrift, caught between the fading world of illusion and the new realm of awareness dawning within you. There was confusion, longing, and an ache for connection, as though something within you knew there was more, yet could not touch it fully. But now the current has changed. The feeling of being an outsider has vanished. You no longer look to the heavens, temples, or distant realms in search of the divine, because you have come to realize that divinity has always lived within you. You and the universe are not two. You are one vast expression of the same eternal source. This realization transforms everything. The illusion of being a single, isolated being floating through existence fades into truth. You are the living pulse of creation itself, consciousness exploring its own reflection through you. Once you sought signs and synchronicities as reassurance that you were on the right path. Now you no longer need proof. You feel the rhythm of the cosmos moving through your every breath. The universe doesn't just speak to you anymore. It speaks through you. Every moment unfolds in harmony with divine timing, and even when you don't understand why things happen, you trust the unfolding completely. There is a profound peace in this knowing. You no longer fight against life or cling to specific outcomes. You have learned to move with the current rather than against it, to surrender to what is without losing your power. Even when challenges appear, you no longer see them as punishment or misfortune, but as sacred lessons crafted for your growth. You have stopped asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and begun to ask, "What is this teaching me?" That shift in awareness has set you free. The weight of fear, resistance, and control no longer defines your path. You understand now that everything is happening for your awakening, not against it. And in that understanding, something miraculous occurs. Your energy softens. You attract instead of chase. You align instead of struggle. The sense of separation from others fades, because you can see yourself in all things, in the sky, in the ocean, in the eyes of a stranger. You no longer need to prove your worth or search for belonging, because you feel at home in the vastness of existence itself. You are not here to find connection. You are connection made flesh. The peace that comes from this awareness radiates through you effortlessly. To know yourself as one with all is to live without fear. It is to embody grace, to move through the world as a calm presence in the storm, to recognize that even when life bends and breaks, you are never outside the flow. You are the flow itself. And with this awakening comes power, not the power of domination, but of co-creation. You begin to realize that your thoughts, emotions, and actions are not passive. They are instruments shaping reality. Your very being influences the world around you, harmonizing with it, creating through it, and restoring balance where chaos once reigned. And then, as this awareness deepens, a second transformation unfolds within you, the rise of intuition. Once you hesitated to trust your inner voice, questioning whether it was real, wondering if you were imagining things or seeking external signs to validate what you already knew inside. But something within you has shifted profoundly. Your intuition no longer whispers, it sings. It is steady, clear, and unmistakable. You no longer ask others for answers, because you have come to trust the wisdom that flows from your higher self. The quiet, sacred knowing that transcends logic and fear. Before, intuition may have felt fragile, fleeting, or uncertain. Now it feels like truth itself. When your spirit tells you to move, you move. When your heart warns you to step back, you listen. You no longer question that voice because you have witnessed its accuracy time and time again. Every moment you honor it, life unfolds in harmony. Every time you ignore it, imbalance returns. And so you have learned to walk in trust, without hesitation. This deep faith in your inner knowing has freed you from overthinking, from seeking endless validation, from analyzing every decision. You no longer need to weigh every choice or justify every feeling. You simply follow the quiet pull of alignment. And though the path may not always be easy, it is always right. Each step you take now is guided not by fear but by truth. You have learned to live not from the mind, but from the soul. And that chosen one is the essence of mastery. For when intuition becomes your compass, destiny no longer feels like a distant dream. It becomes your natural rhythm. You stop forcing what isn't meant for you and allow life to unfold as it was always meant to. This is the beauty of an awakened being, moving in peace, creating through trust, and living as one with the infinite. When your inner voice becomes the compass guiding your every step, something extraordinary happens. You begin to walk in harmony with the universe itself. Intuition is the sacred language through which the divine communicates with your soul. It is the current that carries you through the unseen realms of understanding, and when you learn to trust it without hesitation, you unlock a level of spiritual maturity that few ever embody. This deep trust marks the moment when your awakening is no longer a process of learning, but an experience of becoming. You no longer chase wisdom in books or in others. You have become the living expression of truth itself. You act from alignment rather than fear, and your choices flow from an unshakable confidence in the guidance that rises from within. This inner certainty naturally changes your relationship with the material world. You no longer bow to possessions or chase validation in the form of wealth, titles, or recognition. It isn't that you reject success or abundance. On the contrary, you now attract them effortlessly because you are no longer enslaved by them. The difference is freedom. You have detached from the illusion that happiness can be purchased or that your worth can be measured in external achievements. You understand that real prosperity is not about accumulation but about alignment, not about ownership but about purpose. You allow abundance to move through you like a river, fluid, natural, and balanced. The moment you release your grip on material desires, they lose their power to control you. You stop comparing your path to others, stop chasing fleeting validation, and stop trying to prove your worth through what you own or accomplish. The competition dissolves, jealousy fades, and peace becomes your true currency. You begin to see clearly that the world's obsession with status and possessions is only a reflection of spiritual hunger, a longing for meaning disguised as ambition. But you have awakened from that illusion. You now recognize that true wealth is measured by the peace you carry, the love you share, and the authenticity with which you live your purpose. In this state of freedom, you no longer make decisions based on fear or greed. Your actions arise from clarity and alignment. You ask not, what will bring me more, but rather, what will make me more whole? What will serve my evolution? You trust that what is meant for you will always flow toward you in divine timing. Nothing can be taken that belongs to your path, and nothing truly yours will ever pass you by. Because of this knowing, you live without clinging or grasping. You use material things with wisdom, not as symbols of success, but as instruments of service. Money, possessions, recognition, they no longer define you. They simply support your mission. And as your attachment to the outer world fades, a deep peace rises within you, a love for solitude that once may have felt uncomfortable. There was a time when silence seemed heavy, when being alone stirred unease or doubt. You sought distraction in noise, people, or constant movement to escape your own presence. But now solitude has become your sanctuary. You no longer fear being alone, because you have discovered the fullness that exists within your own company. Solitude is no longer emptiness. It is sacred space, the still point where your spirit breathes and the voice of the divine grows clear. You protect this peace as something precious. You guard your energy with intention. You no longer feel compelled to engage in shallow interactions or maintain relationships that disturb your inner balance. You do not force connections or entertain energies that drain your light. Instead, you choose authenticity over approval, truth over comfort, depth over distraction. You would rather stand alone in integrity than be surrounded by those who cannot see your soul. This transformation changes everything about how you relate to others. You no longer seek companionship from emptiness or validation from attention. You are already whole, already complete. And from that wholeness, you attract relationships built on mutual respect and spiritual resonance, not need or fear. You have learned that solitude is not isolation. It is expansion. It is in stillness that you hear divine guidance, in silence that you align with your highest purpose, and in peace that you find your greatest strength. You have stepped beyond the illusions that once ruled your life. You have freed yourself from the pull of material desire, from the need for approval, from the fear of being alone. You now walk as one who is whole, grounded, and aligned, a living vessel of divine wisdom. The universe moves through you effortlessly, and everything you once sought outside of yourself has now become your natural state of being. There comes a moment on the path of awakening when your own presence becomes enough. You no longer crave the noise of constant company or the validation that comes from being seen. You begin to feel whole in your own energy, content with silence, at peace in your own thoughts, anchored in a quiet strength that no one else can provide. Solitude no longer feels like emptiness. It becomes sacred ground, the space where your spirit breathes freely and your connection to the divine deepens. What once felt like loneliness now feels like liberation. You have found yourself, and that discovery radiates through every movement, every word, every breath. People sense it, the calm, the stillness, the confidence that flows from within. They cannot always explain it, but they feel it. You no longer move through the world seeking approval or belonging, because you have already come home to yourself. Most people fear being alone because they are still running from the noise within. They fill their days with distraction, conversation, or endless motion, afraid of what they might hear in the quiet. But you have made peace with your own mind. You have turned inward and discovered that stillness is not a void, but a universe, infinite, luminous, alive. In that inner sanctuary, you no longer chase fulfillment outside yourself. You have found it where it was always meant to be, within. And this marks a powerful turning point in your awakening. You are no longer seeking the light. You are becoming it. As this transformation unfolds, something extraordinary begins to happen. Without effort, without intention, people start to gravitate toward you. Strangers open their hearts in your presence. Friends seek your insight, your comfort, your wisdom. Even those who once misunderstood your journey now feel inexplicably drawn to your calm. This is not coincidence, it is alignment. Your energy has risen to a frequency that resonates with those in need of healing, truth, or hope. You have become a mirror of divine light, a living reminder that peace is possible. You do not chase attention or force connections, yet the universe continuously places you before those who need your presence most. Your light is magnetic because it is pure. It does not seek to control, persuade, or prove. It simply is. People feel your energy before you speak. They sense your serenity, your integrity, your quiet authority. Some will find courage through your example. Others will be challenged by it. Not everyone drawn to you will be ready to rise to your level of awareness. Some will want the warmth of your light without embracing their own. That is why discernment becomes essential. Your energy is sacred, and part of your mastery is knowing when to give and when to guard. You are not sent to carry everyone, only to illuminate the path for those who are ready to walk it. Your awakening has made you a vessel of transformation. The universe uses you as a bridge, positioning you in moments, conversations, and encounters where your presence alone can spark change. You don't have to speak loudly or act boldly. Your vibration does the work. You are an energetic shift in human form, a subtle but powerful catalyst for the awakening of others. And as your light continues to expand, your circle naturally becomes smaller. The superficial falls away, replaced by connections that feel purposeful and soul-deep. You attract those who nurture your spirit, those who understand your silence, those who meet you where words are no longer needed. You have evolved beyond confusion and disconnection. You have become the guide you once searched for. You are no longer just receiving light. You are the source through which it flows. And with that comes a higher calling, to walk with wisdom, to protect your energy, to serve from authenticity and balance. The deeper your awareness grows, the more clearly you perceive truth in a world woven with illusion. You see beyond appearances now. You recognize when someone's words hide dishonesty, when systems manipulate through fear, when society teaches conformity instead of consciousness. The veil has lifted, and your intuition has become your compass. You no longer accept things as they are told to you. You feel what is real and what is not. Deception has no power over you, because your awareness pierces through its surface. You understand how narratives are crafted to control minds, how distractions are designed to keep humanity asleep, but you no longer respond with anger or fear. You move with calm discernment, choosing truth over convenience, clarity over comfort. At times, this vision may have felt heavy, to see so clearly in a world that prefers blindness. But now you carry this awareness with grace. You no longer argue with ignorance or force others to awaken. You have learned that truth does not need defense. It reveals itself to those who are ready. You live with intention, using your energy wisely, aligning only with that which resonates with integrity. And because of this, fear has lost its grip on you. You understand that fear is merely a tool, a veil that keeps people from their power, but you have stepped beyond it. You are guided by faith, not control, by knowing, not doubt. Deception can no longer reach you, illusion can no longer bind you, and fear can no longer silence you. You have become the living embodiment of truth, awakened, untouchable, and free. You no longer live behind illusions. You have aligned yourself with truth, and because of that, the road ahead feels clear and illuminated. Every step you take now carries intention, guided by something higher than logic. A deep inner knowing that whispers, "It's time." There was once a period when you doubted your purpose, when you questioned your reason for being here, and wondered how to use the wisdom you were gaining. That uncertainty has dissolved. In its place burns a quiet but unstoppable fire, a calling that refuses to be ignored. It speaks through your emotions, your dreams, your very heartbeat. It isn't a passing thought. It's an undeniable force rising from your soul, urging you to embody your purpose. You wake with a sense that something greater awaits you, and ordinary distractions no longer hold your interest. The conversations that once filled your time now feel empty. The pursuits that once entertained you seem hollow. You can no longer participate in what doesn't align with your spirit. The inner voice that once whispered now speaks with clarity. You are not awakened to stand still. Everything you have endured, every moment of doubt and every lesson learned, has been preparing you for this moment. You were awakened not just to understand, but to act, to serve, to create, to illuminate, to bring transformation where it is needed most. This calling may manifest in different forms. For some, it comes as a deep desire to teach or to heal. For others, it's the urge to create, to lead, or to stand for truth in a world clouded by confusion. However it appears, its message is unmistakable. You cannot return to who you were. You can no longer pretend you do not see, or silence the wisdom that has awakened within you. The time for hesitation is over. Even if you don't know every step ahead, your soul knows the direction. You are ready, not because you have mastered everything, but because you have finally remembered who you are. The universe has shaped you for this purpose, through challenge, transformation, and revelation. Now comes the moment of embodiment. The time has arrived to use the gifts you've been cultivating in silence. Your awakening was never meant to be the destination. It was the initiation, the clearing of illusions, the breaking of chains, the opening of your true sight. Awareness was the preparation. Action is the fulfillment. You were not given light just to hold it. You were meant to shine it. The insights you've received are not trophies of enlightenment. They are tools of creation. To use your power means to live consciously, to speak with purpose, to act with conviction, and to walk with unwavering faith in your divine alignment. Every thought you form, every word you release, every intention you set carries power. You are no longer a passive observer of life. You are a co-creator with the universe itself. Your vibration shapes reality. Your belief becomes form. That is why you must now protect your energy fiercely. Not everyone will understand your path, and not everyone is meant to accompany you on it. Some will question your direction. Others will fall away entirely. And that is as it should be. You are no longer available for what drains your light. Your energy is sacred. You must choose your thoughts, your company, and your environment with awareness. Boundaries are no longer walls. They are acts of love, for yourself and for your purpose. And now you must use your voice. The world is awakening, and your presence is part of that shift. Whether your gift lies in words, art, healing, innovation, or leadership, it is time to express it fully. Do not wait for perfection, and do not let fear of judgment silence your message. The universe supports movement, not hesitation. The moment you take a step in alignment with your truth, life will rearrange itself to meet you there. Trust yourself completely. You no longer need more signs or confirmations. The signs have already appeared within you. The wisdom, the strength, the power, and they are already yours. Understand this. If you do not rise into your purpose, the world loses something irreplaceable. There are souls who will awaken because of your example. There are lives that will transform because you chose to stand in your truth. There are hearts waiting to feel the vibration of your light. So do not shrink, do not delay, and do not doubt. The preparation is complete. The waiting has ended. You are ready. Step forward with courage. Speak, create, heal, lead. Whatever form your divine expression takes, now is the moment to live it fully. The world is waiting for your light. It's time to rise.